Cynthia Porter didn't like what she saw in too many public schools, crowded classrooms, drugs, and violence. It's a picture that drove her to embrace a different way of teaching and to create her own school. Now, as Rita Braver found, the most important lesson the children learn might not be from a textbook, but from the life of Cynthia Porter.
It's assembly time at the West Coast School in Sarasota, Florida.
Was your mom really proud this time for your report card?
The school that Cynthia Porter runs with her husband, the Reverend Henry Porter.
So if you can understand what actually is causing your success.
Let that tension go, sweetheart. Very good.
A school that's different from most you've ever seen.
Now I want you to think about how it feels. You've graduated from high school. You are at the top of your class. You're going to college now. I want you to think about going across that stage, getting your diploma.
When Henry and Cynthia Porter opened their school in these back rooms of this old church, they threw out the rule book of current American education. Their belief, it just doesn't work for black children.
I think they get lost and they're miseducated because teachers are not always open to cultural differences.
Okay, so now we're talking about Austin. Now, Austin is very...
The Porters believe blacks do best when educated with other blacks.
This is not segregation. This is nurturing and building self-esteem. You see, we bused the children's bodies to school, but we didn't bust their culture with them.
Cynthia Porter has 4 children of her own and was once a public school teacher.
No, you won't be successful in here unless you read.
She didn't like what she saw, and 12 years ago decided she could do better.
And one day your wife says to you, let's start a school? Is this what happened?
Right. We had it, and she was teaching my son how to read, Henry. But I'm the type person that feels, well, if this is good for my child, how can I hold it back from other children?
Let's play the game like this. All right.
This is reading the Cynthia Porter way.
Reading is a reward for doing something. We hug the child, we kiss the child, we tell him how good he is. And that's it, and we go ahead and we do something else.
The school runs from nursery through senior high. 2 white children go here, so do the Porters' own 4. 75 students in all.
When our kids are tested, they test about 2 years beyond their public school counterparts.
And what place is the one going?
In the 10th.
Okay. Is that right, Clarence?
Yeah!
All right, then let's go. You have very strong teachers, both men and women here. But compared to most schools, there's a high ratio of men around.
Mm-hmm.
Is that important?
Very, very important. Gotta see men doing, gotta see men dressed in suits, gotta see that. So when I started out, I was looking particularly for male role models as teachers.
Cyanide.
Some of the classes are separated by gender.
I had noticed that boys learn differently from little girls.
They're more active, they're up, they're doing things, so we decided to pair that with learning exercises.
Today, the boys drill on elements.
Tell me about what you do besides teaching here.
I'm a clinical psychologist. I have a private practice, and I work with children.
Marvin Hendon teaches the boys, and like many of the teachers at West Coast, holds down 2 jobs because the pay here is so low and his belief in the school so high.
And what we do, they're in the classroom, they work 30 minutes on task, that's where they do their written assignments, and we come out and they have a 20-minute off-task period.
The girls get their own kind of playtime when they finish their work.
I need a brush. The brush? Yes.
Is it sexist that the girls are here playing with the dolls?
Mm-mm. They can play with anything they want to play with. This is their choice.
This is what they decide to do.
Yeah.
10, 11, 12, 13.
Tuition is $175 per month. Okay, let's go back to work.
Most kids are on at least partial scholarship. It's still steep, but parents here would rather sacrifice than send their kids to troubled inner city schools. Alvin Brown Jr. is a star now, makes the honor roll. Alvin Sr. says his son was floundering in public school.
His second grade teacher said he was having problems, and actually she wouldn't let him go outside to play with the other kids because she said he was slower than the rest of the kids.
I felt I was getting left out of a lot of things, and it made me feel pretty bad.
Did you write a note today?
Cynthia Porter may have the power to make children feel good about themselves,
2. Very good. Very good.
but sometimes she lacks the strength to leave her own house.
Just give me a minute. You get it together. Oh, I hate this. I got this one down.
A woman in constant pain since a drunk driver slammed into her car 3 years ago, leaving her with a brain injury.
What are the things that they tell you are wrong with you?
I have seizures. I have light strokes. The blood pressure is always very high.
And it triggered some other diseases, a chronic fatigue syndrome.
Yes. Depression.
She also developed a blood deficiency, forcing her to battle frequent infections.
I don't like to see her down. You know, an enthusiastic person, because she was just so radiant, always blooming. And then she couldn't come to school like she wanted to. Then she couldn't walk upstairs. Then she started walking with a cane.
Can you ever get better from this?
No.
Do they tell you it will get worse?
I will learn to live with it. Just kind of having a slow morning.
Some days, Porter is too weak to do more than talk to her students by phone.
Do your best today. Make certain you do your best.
But Porter forces herself up and back to school to inspire students like Rodrisa Kelly.
They used to call me little bitty. I used to stick under my mother like a big chicken. But now that I've come here, I've come out. You know, it's been a 360-degree turnaround for me.
Now Rodrisa plays the African Queen in the school show. She's been offered 2 college scholarships.
I can do anything that I want to do. If I want to be president, I can do that, you know.
They're going to go out into a society that is dominated in terms of power by white people.
Yes.
How are they going to do?
They're going to do okay because they feel good about themselves.
People come together. And this song was written for Porter by one of her graduates.
Tearing down the hole and bringing on the new. People come together.
I like that. Okay, I do. You can be a good student. You can make straight A's. And you can still sing. And you can go on to college, and you can go on to produce music.
So far, 14 students have graduated from the West Coast School. 11 have gone on to college.
I graduated from college in 1990 with my BA degree in English. And I'm currently working, pursuing my master's in English education, which I want to go into child psychology.
We were taught to make good decisions and to use excellent discretion.
And alumni like Martin Taylor still feel a bond with West Coast. When he's not here rapping, he's an English major at the University of South Florida.
I want to pursue a law degree, hopefully corporate law. I owe that to Mrs. Porter.
On the days that I have a life, I try to live it to the fullest. And on the days that I don't have a life, I'm so driven.
Cynthia Porter isn't slowing down despite her illness. She told us she's planning to open a second school this fall.